in the Sound, and that more attention should be paid to the trees that are left standing instead of the ones being cut down. Environmentalists say if the government doesn't pay attention and change the way logging is done in Clayoquot, there will be more protests like last summer. Deborah Goebel reports.
They have been writing the report for more than a year and a half. Commissioned by the BC government, its authors say BC must introduce sweeping changes in Clayoquot Sound if the ancient rainforest is to be preserved.
We would certainly not recommend anything approaching the size of Clearcut that had happened in Clayoquot Sound in the past.
The panel came up with 120 recommendations, including one that would see clearcuts restricted in width to no more than 4 trees. It also says more trees must be left in harvested areas to reduce soil erosion and preserve the environment for animals.
The panel proposes a totally different silvicultural system.
Environmentalists were thrilled with the report.
Finally, to have a esteemed scientific panel, not just the scientists but the traditional knowledge, stating what we have said, that forest practices must change, it really means the end of clear cutting in Clayoquot Sound.
However, they caution if the government doesn't act on the recommendations, it could be another long, hot summer of environmental protests.
Well, I think this is a war cry to now fight for end of clear-cut logging, not only in Clayoquot Sound but all over on the coast. It destroys the soils, it wrecks the salmon streams, and it's got to stop now.
As for MACMILLAN BLOEDEL, who has the tree farm license for the area, it says the recommendations would be a big change, but not impossible.
It's a very authoritative report. I mean, no one could challenge the credentials of that committee. And so I think that at the very minimum what they have made is an important contribution to the whole discussion of forest management in BC.
Ultimately, however, the report will end up in the lap of those who commissioned it.
I think the panels provide us with a very useful confirmation that we've got to move forward on forestry from the point of view of looking at the values of the land, not engaging in these polarized debates over individual forest practices.
The government says a policy announcement should come within the month. Deborah Goebel, CBC News, Vancouver.